Hey YouTube, Bob here. Welcome to World of Nintendo. I've got a lot more content like this on the way, so be sure to subscribe and hit the bell for notifications. Give this video a thumbs up and leave a comment to let me know what you think. Here we go. In this edition of Nintendo Unboxed, we're going to be taking a look at the Famicom Disk System, released in Japan for the Famicom in 1986. This peripheral was designed to alleviate a couple of issues with the cartridge-based games that the Famicom had been using up until that point. One of the main issues was a shortage of ROM chips, and due to that shortage, the prices for manufacturing games on cartridges was really high. So using this magnetic disk medium in the Famicom Disk System alleviated or reduced those high prices. The other issue was that Nintendo at that time was starting to release larger games such as The Legend of Zelda and Metroid and Kid Icarus. These games were so long and had so many things to collect that a save system was required. And instead of utilizing a cumbersome, lengthy password system, Nintendo wanted to use a way to store the game data. So the magnetic, readable, writable medium was created here with the Famicom Disk System. Later on, however, shortly after the release of the Nintendo Entertainment System in 1985, the chip shortage would be alleviated, prices would go down, and Nintendo would develop another way to be able to save to cartridges using a battery. So that rendered the disk system sort of obsolete or unnecessary, especially in the wake of all the piracy that ensued, because one of the unintended consequences of games on magnetic media was piracy, which was a lot easier to do than on cartridges. So let's take a look at this Famicom Disk System. The package itself is reminiscent of the Famicom. We've got the two-tone silver and color here, which for the Famicom Disk System is yellow. For the Famicom it was silver and red. The Famicom Disk System actually has a little mascot called Diskun, so you would see him. He was kind of like your seal of quality almost for disk system games. But much like the Famicom, we have a cardboard outer casing here, or top casing, that kind of goes on top of a styrofoam block that keeps all of the internals safely protected inside. But here we've got a color picture of the Famicom sitting on top of the disk system. The Famicom, however, was not included. This was definitely a separate peripheral that you would buy here. We've got the disk system branding on the short end here, a repeat of the photo and the branding on the long end, and then the same thing minus the barcode here on this end. So if we turn it around and pull the cover off, we are greeted with, let's see if I can get this to fall down. There we go. There is the styrofoam top portion. If you're going to buy a disk system, and if you're interested in collector's value or just having everything as it was originally intended, you want to make sure that your disk system has this top portion. It looks like Timmy's going to join us in the review here. Hi there, Timmy. Timmy says hi. So if we remove this top portion of the styrofoam, first of all, we see the documentation here. Looks like we have a manual, and in typical fashion it has the serial number that should match the serial number sticker on the bottom of the disk system itself. We have a manga style instruction booklet for kids, kind of speaking to kids' interests at the time, learning about how to use the disk system in a manga format. So we'll take a look at that. We saw this kind of technical instruction manual paired with the how to use manga, also with the family computer or Famicom. We also have here in this little baggie a couple of advertisements. So we'll start with those and then work backwards through the literature here. So a lot of disk systems came packaged with these mini posters that were advertising games at the time. Looks like we have kind of a volleyball or sports game. And on the back side we've got Diskun. There's an ad for Kid Icarus. or Palatina's Mirror, Parutena no Kagami. And on the back, some very cool artwork here of Kid Icarus, or Palatina's Mirror. Got a lot of the baddies there, including Medusa. And then a lot of the popular Nintendo Disk System games at the time. Legend of Zelda and Metroid, that would definitely take full advantage of the save feature allowed by the Disk System. And we have one here for Metroid. Metoroido. And then on the back, again, ads for other Disk System games. This one here is for Super Mario Brothers 2. Super hard sequel for super players only. A picture of the disc. And on the back side, an ad for a game that looks like it might have been a Japanese exclusive. We've got this poster here, kind of describing how the discs work. Some might be two-sided, others might not be. Got a lot of some of the basic black box games, or in Japan they were more the silver pulse games that were also released in disk system format. And that is the backside to Legend of Zelda, or Zelda no Densetsu, the Hyrule Fantasy. Very cool poster there with that artwork. So I believe that, I think I bought some of these posters loose and then just included them in with my disk system. So you really wouldn't get this many posters. I think you got about 2 of these with the actual release. But I just stuck these in with my disk system here. Looks like we got a little bit of a warning, or an ad, not an advertisement necessarily, but just attention. Be careful. You want to make sure not to eject the game while the read or access light is on. I'm getting that not from the text. I certainly can't read that, but I know that the disk system has an access light, and you wouldn't want to eject your game while it was trying to read the disk. Looks like we have another. This looks like it might be for the Famicom fax. I think I do have the fax modem for the Famicom. I did a video on that, so maybe the disk system worked in conjunction with that. In the katakana here, I don't really see anything that I recognize. But if you can read this and know what this is all about, let us know. Got a little bit of an advertisement here for a cleaning kit for the disk system. Kind of cool there. This looks like a registration card. Supposed to fill in your serial number here that you got from the manual or the bottom of your unit. And then finally a little warning card here, which I don't know what this says. This says, I think that's A, E, and then some kanji in the middle. No clue what that's saying. But I do recognize this as the kanji for Nintendo. So, lots of supplemental documentation with the disk system. But like I said, if you were to buy this online from a store, you should get at least 2 of these posters. And I believe they were random, whichever ones you got at the time were the games they wanted to feature. So then going back to the instruction manuals, we'll take a look at the more technical one first here. This one here, is, like I said, is the one that has your serial number. Open it up. Got a table of contents, and here it looks like there's a little advertisement for the Disc Writer, which was a kiosk you would see at a retail store. Stores that would sell games on cartridges and official licensed games that were already on the discs. You could buy blank discs and have the data for any particular game that was available here on the kiosk written to your disc, after having paid for it, of course. But that was a very unique feature here with the disk system. So turn the page here. We've got diagrams here for all the parts of the disk system, how to handle, how to hook up. How to insert the batteries if you're not going to use the AC adapter, which was sold separately. How the RAM cartridge interfaces with the Famicom. The boot up screen. How to remove the discs from their cases. Looks like we're getting into a little bit of the error codes here. Lots of different error codes that you might see on screen if there was an issue reading or writing to your game disc. More information about the disc itself. And just like an audio cassette tape, put tape over the broken off tab if you want to write to it. Then all the warnings about the things you should not expose your discs to, including magnets. Don't step on them or expose them to excessive moisture. And this I always thought was really cool. These Japanese manuals even go into some detail here about how the internal workings actually read the disc here. So that is really cool. But please, don't drop your disc system. More error codes here. Yeah, Timmy's bored by the error codes. And that's all for the technical manual. Now we've got the manga style manual where the kids go on an adventure playing their disk system games. Let's see how this adventure starts here. Looks like they might be in a store. Kid with a tail, of course. He has to have his tail. Looks like he might be buying a disk system. Let's see. Ah, sees the disk writer where you could get the data for the game written to your blank disk. Looks like he inserts his disk, gets a game written. See a gift in his hand here. Might be a gift for a friend. Invites his friends to take a ride with him because of course he can fly. They arrive at the house. Famicom is hooked up, even if they tell you how to hook it up. There is an RF adapter here for the Famicom Disk System. I'm not sure why that would be necessary if you're already hooking up your Famicom with an RF switch, but there is one. We'll take a look at that in the hardware once we unbox it. Part of the story is how to, plug things in, insert your RAM cartridge, and rest your Famicom on top of the disk system, and insert the batteries if you need to. Loading up the game. Got your boot screen there. So this is great, just showing the kids how to go through here, loading up your games and playing them in a very interactive story format with manga. Got the boot up screen for the game. Wonder if mom comes in to interrupt things, but whatever she wants them to do, it looks like the kids are saying, "Sure, Mom, hi." Snack time. Mom's got a tail too. Looks like Mom's giving a little bit of a lesson here about how the discs work, how the magnetic media inside spins or stores the information. Oh, we're further getting a lesson. Look at this. Mom's telling them what happens or what it looks like if you take it apart. You don't need to take it apart. This is what the internals look like. Maybe it's just for educational purposes, or maybe it's just to remove the allure of unassembling your electronics, like I always used to like to do. If you show the kids what they look like, it'll remove the mystery, and they won't want to do it themselves. Maybe. A little bit of a comparison here to how the disc works compared to records at the time. Looks like we even might have the chipset here of the Famicom. Interesting. This goes into a super amount of detail. They're incorporating pretty much all of the information from the technical manual and more into this interactive manga story, which is absolutely great. So much detail. Wow, even something about how the graphics work, perhaps. What you should and shouldn't do with your discs. Treat them well. And if you do, you'll be able to play your games. And then, of course, happy ending. So, very cool manga there included with the disk system. The Famicom had a similar thing going on with a manga for kids explaining how to use it. Alright, now the part we've been waiting for, the unboxing of the actual hardware itself. If we take a look at the disk system, you'll notice it's in a bag, so if you're looking to buy one of these, it should be in a bag. We remove the disk system. We've got the ROM cartridge adapter here, and the RAM adapter, not the ROM adapter. And then this is the RF cable. I'm not exactly sure why you would need this if your Famicom is already hooked up to the TV with RF, but you see the end there, that RCA cable. If we take out the RAM cartridge here, this end inserts into the Famicom Disk System. The information is read off the disk, transferred to this. This kind of functions as a cartridge, and then it is readable by the Famicom because this interfaces with the cartridge slot. But there's a little door here, and there is room for another type of adapter, which I'm not sure what that would be used for. So if you do know, please let us know in the comments. I'm curious to know what that little EXT port is on the RAM cartridge here. So if we take a look at the Famicom Disk System, the color matches that maroon color of the Famicom. We've got the battery compartment there. You could power up your disk system using 6 C cells, alkaline batteries, and that would actually last a long time because the batteries aren't used throughout the duration of your game. They're only ever used to spin up the disk and read it, so that really isn't a whole lot of drain on the batteries. So that is why batteries are a viable power source here. However, if you turn it around to the back, you'll see that there is an input for an AC adapter there, which I do have, and I'll show you guys that. There's the input for the RAM cartridge there. On the bottom, got some rubber feet to keep it stable, and then of course the serial number, which is supposed to match the serial number on the instruction manual, which it does. We got D1414272, and then a sticker, the model number, and then the front of the disk system. This is the access light. When that LED, or actually it may not even be an LED, I think it is. And when that LED is red, you definitely do not want to push this yellow eject button to get the game out while it's being read. And then this is just a filler card to keep the internals in place during shipping if the carton were jostled or dropped or anything. This would keep that magnetic head from slamming down and being damaged in any way. So if you're looking to buy a disk system, you want to be sure that this filler card is included with it. That was an original piece to it. And actually, let's take a look and see. It does have some text on it if you're curious to see what that said. Probably something about removing this before you try to insert a disc. But yeah, that is everything that is included with the Nintendo Disk System. One thing that was not included and sold separately, however, was that AC adapter to power it up. We talked about how using batteries was a viable way to power it up. And in a lot of homes, there just wasn't a whole lot of room for lots of electronic plugs, especially ones with big AC adapters on them. So those big bricks there would take up lots of room. So if you did want to power it up from your home current, you could, but batteries were definitely another viable way to power up your disk system. But this is pretty much just what that AC adapter looked like for the Famicom Disk System. It's got that silver and red sticker on it, and then something that's unique is the plug actually matches the maroon color of the disk system itself. So that is just the AC adapter. Oh, looks like we got another little warning here. You would see lots of these included with Famicom or even N64 games. My memory seems to make me think that these were included a lot with N64 games. Some sort of warning about the AC adapter there. So that is the Family Computer Disk System. I hope you enjoyed this unboxing, and we'll look forward to lots more unboxing videos and other looks at things that I have in my collection here at World of Nintendo. But until the next one, take care. You'll see me then.